found writing as a way to express herself at an early age. She began writing short stories, and the rest was history. Now, with 2 acclaimed novels to her credit, the sky is simply the limit. Please welcome to the show author Shawnta Turner. It's my birthday, Richard, in the house.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
How's everybody?
Well, everybody is great, man. We certainly appreciate you taking your birthday weekend and hanging out with us on the conversation.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Anyway, listen, you've been writing forever. What were the topics, man, as a elementary school or high schooler to your short stories at such a young age? What were you writing about?
I was writing about things that were just around me. I didn't like to talk a lot when I was younger because I stuttered, believe it or not, and I didn't want to be teased. So I just wrote everything down. Even if my dad was upset with me and I couldn't face him, I'd write him a note or a letter and let him know how I felt. So anything that's going on around me, I would write about.
Wow. At that age, I wasn't doing anything. Well, everybody knows what boys are doing at that age. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I
hear that.
On being progressive, man, at such an early age, and that just goes to probably, I'm sure, your upraising. Now, why do you think there's been such a dramatic increase in minority authors over the past few years? I mean, it seems like there's been an influx. Maybe I'm just noticing it. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say everybody wants to put out a book now because it is very possible. It used to be really kind of a taboo for people to say, yeah, I'm an author, and they'll look at you like, you wrote a book? I mean, I still have friends today saying that to me, and I'm like, yeah, but you can write a book too. If you have a story to tell, you can write it, or a ghostwriter can write it. Anything's possible. For me, it was reading one of Terry McMillan's books that really set me off to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and write a book one day. And I actually started writing my very first short story in high school about things that some of the teenagers were going through at my high school. I would use it as fictitious, of course, but I write about stuff that I'm familiar with. And that, the story would actually be passed around in study hall and gym and what have you. And people are like, what's next? What's going to happen? And I'm getting in trouble by the teachers. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. So it's just for me, I was like, I wanted to tell a story because I could always tell a story. Whether it was the truth or not, somebody was going to listen to it. So why not put it down on paper and read about it?
See, I told stories, but they were called lies.
Yeah, that happens too. However, now you can make it say fictitious and make some money. So let's go with that. Let's go with that fact instead of saying it's a lie. It's fiction.
Man, I got to do this all. Yeah, I'm trying to have a chance to do it all over again. I'd be a much better person.
Yeah.
I want to jump right into your first novel. Your first novel was, I believe, Situation. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, Situation.
Yeah, I did homework.
Yes, you did a little bit.
Yeah. Now, it sets up a basis for understanding the female mind, at least from a male's perspective. How did you develop, I'm interested in this, how did you develop the 3 main characters, Dominique, Vicky, and Tricia?
Everybody has a character within them. And you know how people say you'll meet someone's representative before you meet their actual person? That's how I pick those people. Not to say that I represent all 3 of those people, but there's little traits within me that created those characters. And those characters' lives jumped off from maybe people that I've come across in my past, something that I've envisioned or just wondered about. So I brought them to light, and I love those characters. They're my babies. So I love my characters. Yeah. They're funny to me.